Newly released satellite imagery confirms for the first time that Iranian ballistic missiles destroyed the command and control center at Israel's Nevatim air base during the 12-day war. As strategic bomb storage was also destroyed, as well as the radio and long-range communication station at the airbase. No wonder IDF commanders and generals were begging Netanyahu to demand that the U.S. negotiate a ceasefire. So this is kind of your appetizer, if you will. And here is also a before and after image. So no longer are the days where Israel and the United States are the only powers that can drop, these satellite images out of the sky to try and demoralize the enemy. Right now, the so-called enemy, Iran, can do just the same, as you can see here. How many of you guys remember this clip from Tucker Carlson when he basically blew the lid on the fact that all these 20-something-year-old Pentagon workers are getting yelled at by IDF-like commanders that are crashing out inside the Pentagon, storming in the midst of their Pentagon Domino's pizza parties amidst the 12-day war, and they're crashing out telling them to bomb Iran? How many of you remember? This clip is iconic.
During the 12-day war, such as it was with Iran, the U.S. and Israel versus Iran, bombing on all sides, during that short conflict, IDF officers in the Pentagon, foreign military officers in the Pentagon, and by the way, they're not the only foreign military officers in the Pentagon, to be clear. There are NATO officers, they're from other countries, British, but there are a bunch of Israeli Defense Force officers in the Pentagon that week. And during that week, ask anyone who works at the Pentagon, they enraged American Pentagon staff by just barging into meetings, giving orders, making demands, and nobody did anything about it. How can a foreign military officer barge into military headquarters, even if invited, but barge into a meeting and start demanding, we want this, we want that, you need to get on this? The more you allow that kind of deeply unhealthy behavior, the more you're going to get. And that's exactly what has happened. Because of the weakness of our leaders, we have incited predators in a foreign country to take advantage of us.
Predators in more ways than one, right? IDF, we all know they're loading up on that predator pasta. Gideon knows what I'm talking about. Anyways, you're treating, these spoiled children coming in and demanding that we bomb Iran. Trump is doing exactly what he should not be doing, which is then, of course, participating in the strikes on Iran. And this time around, it seems as though we are now in the same position, because if you fail to discipline a spoiled brat child, then they will continue acting like a spoiled brat child. Israeli Channel 12 reported this yesterday. The head of Israel's military intelligence directorate has arrived in Washington to coordinate a strike on Iran. Go figure. Go figure. Not only that, we have senior Israeli and Saudi Arabian intelligence and defense officials who are in Washington this week for talks on Iran. I don't know if you guys caught that, but the defense minister of Saudi Arabia met with Lindsey Graham. And Lindsey Graham said, very clever people, these Saudi Arabians. These Saudi Arabians with the towels on their heads, very clever people. Did you guys see that? He was thinking that. I thought that they were not going to be all that supportive of the U.S. Trump strikes on Iran, but they've given us the grace of the kingdom. Just kidding. It totally doesn't seem like that's the case. I don't know what we should really expect from Saudi Arabia. I think they are terrified about the possibility of, their oil assets getting targeted. And Lindsey Graham, going and meeting with the defense minister, as you can see right here. Thumbs up tour continues. A great meeting with the defense minister of Saudi Arabia, Prince Khalid bin Salman. Wow, these people are clever. They're almost as clever as my good friends kissing the wall right now. Anyone see this clip?
Hey, Lindsay, why don't you just admit that you're gay and then people won't blackmail you anymore?
Get the fuck out of my face. I'm here to meet the clever the clever leaders of Saudi Arabia on my thumbs up tour. By the way, 6 U.S. Air Force C-17 military transport aircrafts on their way to the Middle East for THAAD and Patriot systems deliveries. That is reported right now. I'm bringing you up-to-date, live, breaking news, folks. How many C-17s is that? Like 520,000 C-17s now? It's actually incredible. Anyways, to get back to this story. So you've got the Israeli military officials in D.C. storming into the Pentagon. Israeli media says they are on high alert in the IDF with a focus on providing sufficient warning in the event of Iranian attack. And also they're saying airstrikes alone won't bring the Iranian regime down. Boots on the ground are needed to achieve regime change. Of course, this will not be their boots, the narrator added, right? Of course, everyone knew it would not be their boots on the ground. Why are they freaking out? Because Khamenei's top advisor has said that Iran will strike the heart of Tel Aviv if Trump launches another attack against Iran. Okay, appropriately so. I mean, what else can they really expect other than something like that? Now, if you weren't listening to that about how the IDF is bossing around Pentagon staff again, here's what's happening on the flip side. Iran, Airbus A321-231 operated by Mirage Airlines using the call sign Iran 07, usually reserved for high-ranking Iranian government officials, took off from Tehran to Moscow. Okay, that took place late last night, Iranian time. Is Russia mediating or helping? Well, that's a good question, because we know that Russia, Belarus, China, they've been sending a lot of military assets to Iran. Russia sent more of their Ilyushin 76 cargo jets to Iran over the past couple months than we have seen at any point in any history I can remember I've been alive for. Reports and rumors I have to remind you of the Strait of Hormuz story. Reports and rumors of this Russian, Chinese, PLA, IRGC Navy, and Iranian Navy live naval drills taking place in Strait of Hormuz, Gulf of Oman, and Indian Ocean, where the U.S. ships are right now. So, yeah, big question. What are these Iranian officials doing flying to Moscow right now? What could they be discussing, right? What on earth could they be discussing? Also, Israeli media, they're saying obviously no proof of this. They've provided no satellite information, but they are alleging, of course, that Iran already has, the Su-35s? They're saying they already have the Su-35 fighter jets from Russia. Or is it not the Su-30? I forget which ones it is. I always get mixed up. Anyways, Russia has announced, though, that they are ready to evacuate their staff from Iran's Bushehr nuclear power plant if necessary. Bushehr plant, built by Russia and Iran's only operational nuclear facility, is staffed by hundreds of Russian workers. Now, that's a bit frightening, I would say, if you're Iran, because on the 12-day war, the only place in Iran that had an S-400 system defending it was the Bushehr nuclear power plant, right? Because there were Iranian citizens there. During the 12-day war, Russia said, no, we are not going to evacuate the Bushehr nuclear power plant. Now, it seems as though everyone is kind of on the same agenda that whatever's about to happen could be much, much bigger than the 12-day war. Possibly why they're saying this now. Now, here's where we do get some interesting satellite photos. The rest of the story is going to be looking at, well, some Israeli provided satellite images and even far more interestingly, Iranian satellite images that we now have thanks to a Russian-launched, Iranian-produced satellite, which is up in the air and giving us some pretty shocking images, okay? Recent satellite imagery and intelligence indicate that Iran is rapidly fortifying its nuclear program to survive potential airstrikes. Isfahan reinforcement engineers have reinforced tunnels 100 meters underground with ultra-high-performance concrete UHPC and are burying entrances to protect a 408-kilogram stockpile of highly enriched uranium for the bunker buster munitions. Enrichment concerns, new construction at above ground. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Pickaxe Mountain construction is accelerating at a mysterious new underground site that is reportedly deeper and larger than Fordow, potentially already housing enrichment centrifuges. And that's just the thing, you know. No one knows, unless, of course, they have people in high positions to know these things, right? No one knows how much uranium, what the highest level uranium enriched, that 90% enriched uranium, they don't know how much of this is at which sites. They don't maybe even know all the sites. There are new sites and mysterious potential sites, as you saw there. Israel, they did put forward some satellite images several months ago, which showed that they had correctly identified some of the sites. How do we know, or how can we assume that they correctly identified some of the new sites? Because Russia at the UN General Assembly or UN Security Council, they condemned, you know, Western powers that were threatening Iranian nuclear sites and whatnot. So there's that. But what's even crazier are the images we're now getting from the first launched Iranian domestically produced satellite, which is now in orbit. And here we go. Newly released satellite imagery confirms for the first time that Iranian ballistic missiles destroyed the command and control center at Israel's Nevatim air base during the 12-day war. As strategic bomb storage was also destroyed, as well as the radio and long-range communication station at the airbase. No wonder IDF commanders and generals were begging Netanyahu to demand that the U.S. negotiate a ceasefire. Here we have more photos, as you can see. I mean, total destruction. An Iranian satellite recently placed in orbit has published the highly anticipated satellite imagery showing widespread destruction in the Nevatim air base in Israel, which was heavily targeted during the 12-day war. And let me just tell you, Iran 100% has many more photos like this of other air bases, of other important infrastructure that was hit. And I would imagine we will slowly have that leaked to the public, okay? This is just like an appetizer, right? I mean, Nevatim is not really an appetizer. They say Nevatim is the most secure, well-protected, impenetrable airbase on the face of the earth. And we can see here what they did to it. But as we all know, Iran hit 3 of the major air bases in Israel, all said to be impenetrable thanks to Iron Dome. They hit, Unit 8200. They hit Mossad complexes. They hit the top military, scientific, technical research and production center in Israel. They hit a lot. They hit infrastructure. They hit ports, right? They hit a lot. So this is kind of your appetizer, if you will. And here is also a before and after image. So no longer are the days where Israel and the United States are the only powers that can drop, these satellite images out of the sky to try and demoralize the enemy, right? Now, the so-called enemy, Iran, can do just the same. As you can see here, before and after images reveal the Israeli Air Defense Command and Control Center in Nevatim that was damaged and destroyed during the attacks. Can you believe it? That's the power of Iranian technology, folks. And they're not going to be any less, hands off, chill during this war. That's for certain. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.